Okay, take it away.
Off at the beginning when I
Mom,
just, oh, I only
You
had one brain.
want to talk about
What?
your youth?
Okay.
All of a sudden I had to quite quick remember all the names.
My youth and my early teens, I was an extremely unhappy person. I didn't like my family because they spoke Italian,
Now, you spoke Italian too.
a dialect.
Was that your first language?
I doubt it.
So you learned English.
But, oh yes, well,
First.
of course, you know, both Archie and I, but we knew how to speak and we understood the dialect.
Okay. Because
But,
you were pretty fluent at one time. You were pretty fluent in Italian. I
Yeah.
remember going to Grandma and Grandpa's house in
Well,
Brooklyn.
it sounded fluent to you, but when I went to Italy, they all got hysterical. They said it was baby talk because I was using the familiar. Remember French?
Yeah.
Familiar?
Yeah.
And it was never a true Italian, but I can still read parts of a newspaper or a book because I translate it in my mind, but I can't say it because I haven't heard it. I was unhappy because I didn't like my family. We were poor, and the war was coming up, and my mother and father thought I should be wrapped in cotton and stayed home because there were terrible things going on in New York. And all my friends were able to go into the city, but not I. I was not permitted to. But anyway, my dad decided I was going to college, and they looked up where they had a good accounting course for me, and Archie came up with St. John's University. And I was in the first class where they accepted co-ed females, the co-educational part of the university, and I had a ball, except it was during the war, and so many of the young men were going off and not coming back. And anyway, I graduated in 3 years because I wanted to get away from New York and from my family. I wanted to be on my own because my dad didn't believe in letting me go away to college because I had to be kept home. Bad things were going on. But anyway, they accepted the fact that I could go up to Schenectady because my brother was up there and he could take care of me. Well, actually, I took care of him more than he did me. But anyway, I did. I was recruited to go into the, it was a business training course, but it's now known as the financial management course. More accounting and statistics. I was in the statistics department and I thought I would die. But anyway, somewhere along the line I heard there was a good job in advertising and publicity. And they were, that department took care of much of the first TV programs when Reagan worked for GE. He was an announcer or something, I don't know, but anyway, I was very happy there, and I got into this. I lived with 3 other girls, and we had a wonderful time because all the young men were coming back to Schenectady from the war, and they were all neat young engineers and accountants, and I met Dad 5 years before I married him. I was 22 and Dad was 12 years older. And we had a few dates, but he thought I was young. I was only 22 at the time. And I was engaged after that to another young engineer. And I don't know why, because I didn't care for him. And I gave him his ring and get everything called off. Then I met, well, it was a heyday for any young single girl in Schenectady. What was it, Dorothy Dix, was it, said, don't go west, young lady, go to Schenectady.
Really?
Anyway, I had several boyfriends, but I always had your dad in mind. I just thought he was wonderful. He was probably at the time, the most eligible bachelor. He had a good job, he had a fancy car, he drove a Kaiser, which, John, you're probably the only one who ever heard of that. A robin egg blue Kaiser, and I was the envy of all the girls when we became engaged. We were engaged at Christmas, 1950.
How did he ask
And
you
we
to
went
marry
to
him?
see a priest. I had a hard time getting a priest to marry us because Dad was not Catholic. But he insisted we get married in the Catholic Church. And we found a priest, a young priest, who said, well, heck, you marry us. Because I said I'd get married in a synagogue if I have to. So we were married in February, but he's just before Lent. And he said, now you can't get married. Oh, we were engaged before Lent. He said, you can't get married during Lent because you have to wait 40 days. And in my devious mind, I thought, he's going to change his mind. So I said, what's the date before Lent, just before Lent? And it was February 3rd. And we were married, and we celebrated Lent up in Canada, where we went skiing. Lord help me. Dad was a skier and I was not. I hugged the fireplace. But anyway, 10 months later, Nancy was born. So I didn't have to get married, which you asked me when you were about 12 or 13 years old. Nancy learned about the birds and the bees, and she asked me when I was married and did I have to get married. And I thought, oh my gosh, she needs being talked to. But anyway, we had a very happy life, and I miss Herb. Herb was from Spokane, Washington, and I was from Brooklyn, New York. And he introduced me to all his friends as a red-headed Italian from Brooklyn. And that was it. One more.
Okay, so let me check the math here. Okay, they got married in February, which
Ah!
is the second